So we are in price discovery. So if we were to make moves up and above this, negate the topping tail, get above this upward trend that we're seeing, I mean, we could see 850 and somewhere in that range, and that'd be probably our next area that we'd really be looking at as some really heavy resistance for virtual. So
what's going on, everyone? Happy New Year, happy 2025, and welcome back to another episode of WagmiTV. We're super excited to kick off this year with, honestly, on this channel, one of our biggest winners over the last couple of months. Anybody who's been following our channel, big shout out to you guys. You guys probably got in on this AI agent trend nice and early. We are currently at a 10x on virtual coin and a 4 to 5x on a couple of other AI coins that we talked about on the platform. So huge gains being made so far. Big shout out to the subscribers who have been involved with that. If you benefited from that in any way, make sure to comment down below. We'd love to hear from you guys. But today we're going to be revisiting that token. So Virtuals Protocol, the biggest AI agent platform in crypto right now, pretty much the best performing token over the last couple of months, and one that we caught super early here. Big shout out to Ev for that. And so we're going to go through the chart. We're going to go through some of the updates on the platform, and then we're just going to chat about it a little bit. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts as well. But as always, none of this is financial advice, so keep that in mind. And without further ado, let's kick it to our motto for the charts.
Let's dive right in. I mean, shout out to Evan. This thing has gone absolutely insane. So it's always fun to catch one when they're low. That's for sure. We have seen a meteoric rise out of this thing. So just looking into kind of the short-term charts here, really what I have is we have this very obvious uptrend. We have the lower end of that uptrend and the upper end of that uptrend. We did see that yesterday it actually tagged that. And then throughout today, it actually tried to push above that, but obviously was, projected pretty hard. So what this is actually called from a technical analysis perspective is a topping tail. So typically that is fairly bearish from a chart pattern perspective. Obviously, we're talking about probabilities here. We're talking about from a short-term side of things. So what we want to see from a bullish side of things is to actually get up above this, uprising trend, and then actually close above this wick here on the 2nd of January to continue to be bullish in the very short term on this. So obviously we tagged this upper trend line off after a massive, massive run over the last couple days. We have that topping tail, which is a little bit bearish. What you also see down here is the RSI, which we've talked about a couple times. So this is whether or not the chart is oversold or undersold. So right now, pretty oversold, but more importantly, what we see is what we call bearish divergences. So again, if you've been tracking with us, we talk about RSI and divergences a lot on this channel. So what you're actually seeing here is as RSI peaks are going down, the price in this Virtuals token is actually going up, right? So that is actually what they call a bearish divergence. Typically what you see off of those are some pretty solid pullbacks. So for example, we had a Sunday, the 27th of October, we had the biggest high in RSI, and then we had a lower high on the 30th of November. From there, what we actually saw was about a 37% drawdown in virtuals. Then we saw it again from the 30th of November to the 16th of December. What we saw from there was about a 39% drop, right? So what we're seeing again here, 16th of December to the 1st of January, is again another bearish divergence. So just for that sake, right, if this were to come down, say, 37 to 38%, right, we're actually right at that upward trend line, that bottom range of the upward trend line. So wouldn't be super surprised to see this make that move down there from a bearish perspective, right? A couple other lines that we're looking at, right, this is going to be pretty major support. So, right, again, if we came into this, you'd have two factors of support, and then it would actually coincide with the bearish divergences playing out. But just want to show a couple of different other support lines that we are looking at if we want to try to make a re-entry for, adding to the position or a couple more trades. So obviously we have that upward moving trend line. We have these horizontal supports as well that we're taking a look at. One interesting thing that we always like to do is actually look at Fibonacci levels as well to try to find kind of another area um, of confluence with some of the charts. So let's take a look at that. Let's see where that comes in at here. So if we take really the lows of this chart and we say that this is kind of the high here, interestingly enough, those support lines that I just drew in, that aligns with the 382 Fibonacci level as well as the 618 Fibonacci level. So those would be areas that you potentially look to add on a pullback. As far as bullishness goes, right, again, if we continue to move upwards here, something that we'll want to look at is the Fibonacci levels in the other direction. So we are in price discovery. So if we were to make moves up and above this, negate the topping tail, get above this upward trend that we're seeing, I mean, we could see 850 and somewhere in that range, and that'd be probably our next area that we'd really be looking at as some really heavy resistance for virtuals. So, long story short, if you believe in AI agents, we'll talk a little bit about the fundamentals, things like that. You want to make sure that you get in. Obviously, more power to you. If you're more of a short-term trader and you want to get in, or maybe you want to get in at a better price, we're probably looking at a little bit of a pullback here, at least in the short term. But if you believe in AI agents, this thing has some really awesome potential. So I know that was quite long, but that's what I'm seeing on the chart.
Yeah, that's awesome. And let's dive into the Virtuals platform here and actually show some of the AI agents that are on the platform. So if you've listened to some of our past videos, we've talked about AI XBT, which I think then was right around 250 to 300 million market cap, and we've seen quite the move upwards with this. But something that's also changed on this platform since the last time we covered it is the number of other tokens that are above the 100 mil market cap. So we've got a few more that have joined AI XBT here. And then really you're starting to see a nice grouping of, 60 to 40 million market cap also on the platform. So if you felt like you missed out on virtuals, maybe that market cap's a little too high, you're looking for more of a degen play or a couple of them, this is a great place to go. So you can go into the Sentient Agents tab here, which is essentially the agents on the platform that have red pilled or escaped the bonding curve, which that would be in the Prototype Agents tab. And then what you should also look for here is the type of community involvement or following each of these agents have. So if you were to go over to the AI XBT Twitter page, you would easily see all the different calls they've essentially made around other crypto tokens. So each of these have, kind of their own taste to them, whether it's trying to help you out with trading, trying to add some entertainment, trying to add some information. I think those are going to be smaller trends within this platform. Is we've seen a lot of productivity agents really surge, but maybe we haven't seen information or entertainment as much. And so I think that's something also that you guys should keep an eye out for, because if the market cap for virtuals, or the virtuals token is 5 billion, and we've seen that crazy run up in the last month, I get the feeling that we're also going to start to see more and more activity on the platform. So yeah, definitely peruse through this page. Find a couple you like if you're looking to invest in some of the smaller cap or more degen plays, because there's definitely some nice gains to be made here. But yeah, I think that's probably all we got on the platform for today.
Yeah, super interesting stuff. I mean, obviously, the AI agents narrative is at this point in the cycle, like pretty much the biggest trend right now. So really, really interesting stuff. And it's clear that the platform is getting more and more use, right? More and more prototype agents coming out, more of those agents making it out of the bonding curve and picking up steam. Where do you guys see, this kind of trend going from here into 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the productivity agents. I think there's a great following around some of these productivity agent Twitter accounts where they're talking about, big pullbacks that tokens have seen and good investment opportunities there. So I think the ones that are actually showing some utility and also, a constant flurry of tweets and updates on the different markets, I think is something that I'm going to be watching out for here in the next few months.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting one, right? So I think to your point, right, it's been the thing that everybody's talking about. It's been the thing that's hot. And I guess when you think about it like that, right, how do you start to kind of comprehend what sort of moves these sorts of things can make, right? So when we started to think about it, we started to think about, okay, what was the big play last cycle, right? And that was DeFi, right? And so DeFi, I think at its peak, it was about 5% of the crypto market cap, something like that, about 250 billion cumulative, just for DeFi alone, right? So if crypto grows to, I don't know, 5 trillion, say this cycle, like a 40 or 50% growth from the last cycle, and AI agent, networks match the peak of DeFi, it could actually get pretty insane, right? So if, AI agents are at 5 or, 10 billion, let's call it 10 billion across all of them, that'd be like a 25x from here to get to that 250 billion that DeFi's on. So I did think that it was an interesting tweet from Masari, actually, that I'll share really quickly. And that actually aligns the DeFi index and the trend that it saw back in the bull market from 2020 to 2021, and then the AI mirroring that on this same chart for 2025 to current. And it's matching pretty nicely around this November, December realm. So, again, if we see this thing really, really shoot up, I mean, the sky's the limit for a lot of these things. So I think it's something to definitely keep an eye on, right? It could be something that's, like a mega fad, like an NFT sort of thing, or it could actually be something that could bring a lot of potential to crypto, bring a lot more to the space. I mean, I don't think it's any secret that AI could be a really, really game changing technology, right? It could produce trillions of economic value, not just in crypto, but in many spaces in other industries, right? So if you think about it like that, right, is this potentially bigger than DeFi, something that was really specific to crypto, where you have all of these things kind of coming into one, AI being independent of that crypto space, coming together, bringing that together with crypto, the blockchain, etc. Um, you know, there's a lot of thing going for it. It's just we really have to make sure we're finding value within it. And I think a lot of these have, right? AI XBT, right? A lot of productivity aligned with that, helping a lot of people trade. I did see that Luna agent that Evan actually went over. They actually hired that agent to some group actually hired that agent to run their Twitter, right? So they're actually paying that agent to do so. So they're actually making revenue while they're doing this sort of thing. So a lot of things to be bullish about. I think at the end of the day, it just has to do with the vision and the use cases that come out of it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens from here.
And I think that's a great point. Like there's just different flavors of this AI and crypto relationship, this mesh that's happening. Like you look at Vader AI and it's essentially creating ETFs for some of these other tokens on the virtuals protocol. So while AI agents is a, huge topic and kind of, encompasses so many different things, there's going to be a lot of different movements or trends within that. So yeah, I think that's a great point.
I think yeah, like Armada, you bringing up like kind of the relative valuation and scoping it versus DeFi last cycle is a really, really interesting kind of frame of reference to come at this with, because it also just, while all of these things seem to have run a little bit here, in the context of that relative valuation discussion, there's clearly, if that is achieved, there's a lot more to go. And so it'll be super, super interesting to see kind of like where that goes this year. Obviously, we're going to be all over it. One of the most interesting theses, I think, is like this crypto AI relationship that we're talking about. It actually just helps each other, because one of the things is like AI agents is like, how are they're not going to have bank accounts, right? The way they're going to transact with each other is going to be fully digital, fully, you know, online. And the best way to do that right now is through cryptocurrency. So you can almost see them kind of helping one another as these trends continue to gain some strength. So yeah, for everything AI agent related, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. We're going to be keeping track of all the tokens, all the latest news and everything. Obviously, we caught a 10x here, and we're hoping for that to go even higher. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe down below, and we'll see you next year or next time here on WagmiTV.
Wag me.